Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on what time you are tuning in. My name is Rachael Goldsworthy, and I'm on a journey to improve my life by 2 millimeters each and every week, and I want to do that with you. How are you? What have you been up to? Tonight we're going to do all things portals unlocked, cosmic truths revealed. Is the universe sending you signals? And are you ready to tap into something bigger than yourself? Let's find out together, shall we? So what did everyone get up to on the weekend? Did you have a good day? Did you have a good weekend? I don't know. We had a really good open home on the Saturday, a couple of open homes and a couple of good inspections and lots of people about. So especially for the democracy snag. Did everybody go out for the democracy snag? I love the democracy snag. Gemma tells me about that all the time on the office, and every election we always go out and find ourselves a sausage sandwich. So Glossodia Public School, we thank you for your service. So today I went out to lunch with Mum and Dad. Actually, that was really nice. We spent a bit of time together. I was just looking at a few different things and local sushi, and we got some local coffee as well, which was great. Sorry about that. It's just the back of the microphone there, but I hope that doesn't annoy anybody too much. So pop in the comments below what you've been up to, what you've been getting into, and what you're looking forward to, I suppose. But tonight, thanks to Anne Clark, she sent me some details about the portal opening, the 5-5, which is the double energy for 5-5. Akashic Connections, if anybody's looking for further information on it. Yeah, the portal. It's quite interesting what's going to be happening with that. It's talking about embracing change and a bit of freedom and flow. So if you're looking for some direction, a little bit of a change, a bit of a pivot in your life, or whatever it may be, today may be able to do that and help other people. So completion, release, and letting go. Hi, Ruby. How are you? Nice to have you on the line. So the double 5 energy is May 5. So it amplifies the energy, is what Anne says, and it releases stagnant patterns. So I don't know about you, but sometimes we all get a little bit stagnant in what we're doing, and we look at changing or pivoting or looking at different things. And you want to step into a more liberated version of yourself, perhaps. And if you're feeling called to do different things, you could probably do, I remember Michelle Dyball, who does a great breath work on Thursday nights at the local Richmond community hall. So if anybody wants to do breath work with Michelle, she's amazing, and she would be, more than happy to help you. 1,000 Paths is her Facebook page. Pop in the comments below, Michelle, if you've got that, or if you want to put the link in there, we'd be happy to promote the local business. But she did a releasing ritual once, and that was on a night that there was a portal as well, portal open, and Anne's suggesting the same thing. It's about a releasing ritual, and she says basically just grab a piece of paper. Grab a piece of paper, write on it what you're wanting to bring things in. Hi, Mum, how are you? Nice to have you on the line. Mum was the first person that ever watched one of my videos, and I love having her on these videos each and every time, and each and every one of you as well. So thank you for all of you joining me tonight. So the releasing ritual that Anne talks about, she says grab a piece of paper and write down any fears, any thoughts, any doubts that you're thinking about, and things that maybe you want to let go of, maybe something that you want to feel, or maybe you think that it's a limiting belief or something that you just don't think that you can do. And she's suggesting if you write that on a piece of paper, and then with the moon outside, you might be able to take the piece of paper outside and burn that piece of paper with the intention that you're releasing what no longer serves you, and you're welcoming the change and the courage with that change. So I think that's a really nice idea, and good on you, Anne, for suggesting that 5-5 portal energy. It's all about flow and transformation. So if anybody's looking for a different flow or a different transformation in your life, she says choose courage over comfort. choose possibility over perfection. She says, choose expansion over fear. And we are all shifting, she says. So align with the high vibration, with the energy, freedom, change, adventure, unpredictability, and personal growth. So if you're looking for any of those sorts of things, you might be able to, I'll pop in the comments as well so that you've got the link to Anne with the Acacia connections, and that might give you some direction. Because sometimes we all need a little bit of direction in our life, don't we? All right, books that I've been reading this week. I have been, did you know, I'm sure you all do, and I'm just catching on to this, but your local library is amazing, just like the local businesses that we have in the area and lots of things going on. But the local library, you can literally borrow 40 books, 40 books, and have them for 3 weeks. I thought that was amazing. I thought maybe, you know, the times that I used to borrow books decades ago, I used to think 1 or 2 books, but now it's just multitudes. So I went down to the library and got a couple of books. One was Luna, which is all about, yes, the Latin word for moon, of course. Really, that one's by Tamara Dresden, and it says, harness the power of the moon and to live your best life. And I've been reading this one this week, and it's fascinating because you think about the moon and how the energy becomes stronger, and sometimes we can't sleep when the moon becomes a full moon. And it's the same thing with our energy. If you look at the energy as you come into a full moon, it increases, and then as the full moon reduces, it's almost like the energy wanes. And the same thing, and that's what she talks about, is that the energy of our life and the energy of our being is that if you harness the power of Luna or the moon, you can really live your best life. And I really like that concept. I did write some notes about it. I always write copious amounts of notes, don't I, with these sorts of things. But she was talking about the gravitational pull of the moon and the tides, because we know that the tides are dependent on the moon and the different orbits that are there. And essentially we're made up of water as well, like 85% water, I think it is. So when we're drinking water, we're feeling a lot better, but also that's the reason why we're so sensitive to the moon cycles as well, because they always say, you know, as the full moon gets heightened, there's a lot more energy in the air, and sometimes we can't sleep, or sometimes we're excited about a new idea or something that you want to change in your life or bring into your life. And it says that the sun is said to illuminate our conscious mind, while the moon encourages us to dive into the subconscious mind. So Joe Dispenza, he talks about the subconscious mind as well, and I listen to a lot of his meditations both in the morning and the nighttime. And sometimes you do, I mean, meditation is different for everybody. My meditation, I cheat a little bit, because I think meditation, you're meant to sit upright and, you know, have a particular stance or do whatever it might be. But my type of meditation is lying down before bed and having a moment to myself and just being intentional about what my day was, thinking about what was so great about it, even though some days might not be great, but just pulling those really nice moments from that day and then taking it into the next day, and what's something that I want to see happen in the next day, in the next week, in the next month, in the next year. And then you let your subconscious do its work overnight, because you don't have to work out how to fix anything or to do anything. You just need to speak it into action. So if you put it into action in the universe actually calls that in for you. So whilst you might not be ready to do exactly where you want to be or what you want to do, the universe has got a little bit of a plan for you, and you might be a few ebbs and flows like the Hawkesbury River, but you're going to get there. You're going to work towards that, and you might call out something that you have been wanting to achieve, but you're not quite there yet, but you want to head towards that direction. So you call it out to the universe, and you might say, like for me, when I was on my 75 hard journey, I've now lost nearly 30 kilos. I didn't think that was possible at that time, but by calling it out to the universe and saying I'm the healthiest version of myself was easier than saying I've lost 30 kilos. You see the difference? Because if you're the healthiest version of yourself, you can feel that. Whereas if you say I've lost 30 kilos, it's like when you're still 30 kilos heavier, it just didn't seem real at the time. So think of ways in which you can say things that you're looking towards, or, you know, wanting to spend more time. It might be spending less time in the office or more time with family or friends. And it may not necessarily be possible, but you may put it out to the universe that I'm loving spending time with my family and friends. I'm loving that the universe is putting me in the right place at the right time to meet the right people, because the universe can put people in place for you, and they can put situations in place for you, even just to collect a moment. Just by the river of a night time, or just before dusk actually, the corellas fly overhead, and I love watching the corellas fly overhead. So if anybody likes birds, likes the river, likes the sunsets, go down by the river and you can see a flock of corellas flying over, and they're just squawking. They're all so happy. They're getting ready to roost for the night. They want to find the best beds, the best boughs of the trees to relax and take it easy. And you've got the backdrop of the sun setting in the west, and you've also got the beautiful river. So you've got a glisten of that orange glow from the sun, and it's just amazing. And yeah, I really, really enjoy that. And they're all of those sorts of things that if you put it out to the universe, as I say, my meditation is on my bed as I'm lying and going to sleep of a night time. And yes, I do sometimes fall asleep as I'm doing the meditation. And it might be a ritual of some nice music that you play, or it might be some symbols of something that, you know, it might be actually a guided meditation that you listen to. It might be some video or some sort of YouTube video that resonates with you. It might be a book that you sit down with and read 10 pages that is some sort of meditation for you. But that focus, as I was reading a book a couple of weeks ago, Hyperfocus, if you're focusing on something really quite particularly, it's more likely to have a better outcome for you, and you're really working towards that. You're honing in on those skills. So yeah, that's one of the things that the Tamara was talking about in her book Luna. And as I say, this is the book here for those of you that haven't seen it. Hi Jim, how are you? Nice to have you on the line. Hey Vicky, how are you? How's the Girl Guides going? We're talking about the moon. We're talking about all things cosmic and awakenings, the portals tonight that we're all going to talk to and talk our own truth. And the book also talks about trusting your internal compass. I talk about this all the time. I mean, what's your North Star? What feels right for you? And we've all felt that North Star, or we've all felt that internal compass. And sometimes you come to a decision or a fork in a road where you're not too sure which way to go. But really, you do know the answer. You just may be asking yourself the question to validate whether you're heading in the right direction. And I think your body definitely is your compass, and you can certainly feel it. I know I can feel it in my body as to whether it's a right decision or it's not quite the right decision, or we're not quite there yet and you need to work towards something. So I certainly have that gut instinct to work towards things. It also the book talks about plotting out the moon phases, because if you block out some time for reflection around the different moon phases and the rituals centered around the moon phases, it also allows you to work out whether the moon is waxing, so getting bigger, or whether the moon is waning, so getting smaller. And then as the moon, and it's just a simple sort of thing, very practical, but as the moon gets brighter, you're going to have more energy. And as the moon gets smaller, you won't have as much energy, and it's probably sort of more reflective time for you. And so she's saying if you plot those moon phases over the month, then, you know, you might be able to work in, if it's a waning phase or if it's a reflection phase, you might want to book in a massage or do some sort of breath work or some sort of self-care moments. Whereas if you're wanting a full moon and you're wanting to achieve something with a new project or that might be requiring that energy from the moon. So She talks about workshops, massages, pottery classes, art classes, family days, dinners out, saying yes to people and saying no to people. Give yourself a digital curfew, all of those sorts of things. So she also says, talk about, don't feel guilty about cancelling plans. So that internal compass that you have, you know, those things that you get invited to that you'd love to go, but really it's not your thing, or you're just doing it because you know, want to support somebody else, or you think it's the right thing to do. Well, I kind of say, just be your authentic self. Do what you want to do and be the person that you want to be, because ultimately your tribe will be with you regardless of where you want to be, and they'll mostly likely be in the same place that you are too, which is great. And don't feel guilty about cancelling those plans. Vicky's saying, hey Rach, it's going to be good. We've grown to 13 girls. I know, Girl Guides has grown, and that's all part of your team leaders that are there, including yourself, Vicky, and Gemma. And Gemma's saying she's proud of a Girl Guide gang. Absolutely. How does it go? I don't know how you do those things. The love heart. Oh, there we go. I did that. There we go. Okay. That's very clever. Just found out how to do that as well. Anyway, we digress. It's talking about creating a sacred space at home. And it's talking about creating some, you know, like there's nothing better than fresh sheets on the bed. I don't know about you, but I love it when the sheets are washed and they're on the bed and you climb into the bed of a night time, especially it's getting a bit cooler as we're clearly heading into winter. Lighting a candle. I mean, I might sit there of a night time, sitting there reading a book, lighting a candle, and you know, having an overhead light on that. And I just love that, because it sets the mood for the night. It also gets you away from the digital view on your screen, because if you've got the digital screen in front of you, it sort of tends to keep you a bit more wide before bedtime. So 2 hours before bedtime, switch off. You could burn some essential oils. Just to make yourself a little bit relaxed. So get into that moon ritual of a nighttime. Wear something comfortable, but something that makes you feel amazing. You might want to draw yourself a bath before you go to bed. I know Mum and Dad always used to draw a bath before they went to bed, and it was always a good way to relax and unwind. A nice warm bath, a few drops of essential oil. You could light a candle in the bathroom for yourself and just have a really, really nice, relaxing time in the bath, and then you'll be ready for bed. She also talks about gardeners and farmers having coordinated their planting around the moon phases. I've spoken about the Farmer Almanac before, which has certainly been recommended for when to fertilise plants, when to plant plants, when to sow, when to reap the rewards from the plants, those sorts of things, and when to harvest. So really, really good. And then the new moon, it talks about new beginnings, setting intentions and starting something new, inspiring new beginnings, time for reflection, a little bit of introspection. So go inward with those new moons, what you'd like to achieve, what you'd like to create. You can have that meditation of a night time where you're thinking about what the process is and where you want to be in your life and what's important to you, what you want to release, what you want to feel, and then start new routines and new habits and regimes. And I think when I did the 75 hard, it was really, really hard. I must say, that's why it's called 75 hard. So the 75 hard, of you that don't know, is exercise, reading a book 10 pages a day, and drinking lots of water, following a diet, but no cheat meals, that sort of thing, no alcohol, etc. When I came off that just over Easter, because I thought I have to cut myself a little bit of slack, because over Easter with the Easter eggs, there's nothing worse than not being able to have a Cadbury egg or Cadbury Easter egg of some sort that you like, or red tulip, or whatever one it is that you choose. But yeah, so I had a little bit of chocolate and had some friends around. I went over to a few people's places, friends' places and stuff. And you know, you've got food platters out, you've got chocolate, all those sorts of things. And then, you know, you notice that there's a couple of kilos creeping back on. So I'm making a public declaration again. I'm going to do the 75 hard, and we're going to go over the next 75 days and see where we go again. And I'll keep you updated, but that's my intention. That's the portal that I'm putting out there tonight. I'm going to release the old me and into the new me. And, you know, it's never a battle against anybody else. It's always a battle against yourself. And I don't think about things as in one has to be better than the other. We just have to better ourselves so we feel good about ourselves, and also, you know, those people that are around us, and we all help one another to lift one another up. So by doing this 75 hard, any of those that you want to join, I spoke to another person the other day, 18 kilos that they'd lost. So I think collectively it's nearly 150 kilos that have been lost by all of us doing the 75 hard together. So it's an amazing result, really. And yeah, so I think that's great. So tonight, if you wanted to open the portal, talk about those sorts of things, you could certainly do that. If you need a hand with 75 hard and you need some inspiration in relation to what to do, what to eat, what worked for me, I'm always happy to help in that regard. Tonight also is meteor shower. So I don't know early hours of the morning what you'll be doing, but I think I'll be up between around 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. just before the sun rises. Going to get a little bit of inspiration from the cosmic revelations out there. But I think it's Eta Aquariad. I don't know how to say it. Somebody else might be able to say so, but it's a meteorite that's in the southern hemisphere. Now, I was looking out today I'm sort of looking at the sky, or looking out in the backyard actually as I'm sort of filming this, but as you look to the western sky, I could see Jupiter in around about 20, 30 degrees up in the sky there. And Saturn and Venus were sort of set down a little bit. But if you look into the northeastern in the early hours of tomorrow morning, tomorrow morning it will be, you will see, maybe you'll see Mercury, Saturn and Venus, and then just above that, that's where you'll see the constellation of Aquarius, but you'll also see the meteorites. So what they're saying is if you look to the sky, you've got to adjust your eyes. Apparently, move away from your screen at least for 15 minutes. You'll need that. But around about an hour, if you can lie in a paddock somewhere, if you're able to, and there's not too much light pollution around, adjust your eyes and look up. And they talk about the, what do they call it? Excuse me. A glass of water. Almost made it through without coughing. Pardon me. I'm getting over this cough that I've had. But yeah, they were talking about, where is it? The radiation point? No, not radiation point. Radiant point, I think it is. Where's my notes? Yeah. Radiant point. Pardon me. And basically it's where the Aquarius constellation meets, and it's really quite amazing. I mean, I saw a meteorite shower about, I think it was sort of in the beginning of the year. It was like 18 that just went across the sky. They're talking between 12 to 22 per hour. So that's what you're likely to be able to see. They were saying that Halley's Comet, this meteorite, ETA it's called, EQUARIID, meteorite shower. It's born from the original Halley's Comet. Now, Halley's Comet, I got up really early in the morning to see with my dad, and I think it was 1986, so I would have been 16. And that's not predicted to come back until 2061. So tonight it'll be about 50 meteorite per shower, but that's, some people are saying that. Then others are saying between 12 and 22. So I'd go with the less. I'd go with 12 to 22 meteorites per hour. And if you see one, maybe 2. It's amazing. Like, I just love seeing them. Halley's Comet says it takes 76 years to complete the revolution around the sun. So next to visible in 2061. Gosh, I'll be 91 years old if I make it to then. So look northeast in the morning between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. and on the horizon, just on the horizon, and you should be able to capture some if you've got a little bit of time. What else are they talking about? The lunar. I know lunar, we said that it's Latin for moon, but Lunar Park, I didn't realise, but Lunar Park, I think New York opened in 1903, and there was a particular ride in there called A Trip to the Moon, and that inspired the fanciful trip, like the teacups. I'm not too sure what it is, but it was a ship named Luna, and that's why it's called Lunar Park. So there you go. You've got one opened in Sydney, and lots of different things there. So now, talking about outrageous authenticity, my friend Lee Brown, I don't know whether you can see her. She's a real estate agent from the States. She's amazing. Lee Brown. Anybody needs a realtor in the States, North Carolina, she's the lady for you. She does a lot of local work for the community. She's very involved in the politics, the local politics, and making a difference in people's lives. And even her business card, it says Lee Brown, more than houses. And that certainly is her. But she's written a book. I read this book a few years back, and this photo was taken back in 2015. And Lee, I attended, the guy, he's a batsman, a cricket guy, and he actually spoke at this event. I can't even remember his name, McGrath, I think it is. And she was speaking at that event as well. So 2015, I caught up with Lee. And she's written this book, Outrageous Authenticity. And, it's so much easier to be yourself, isn't it? So, and essentially that's what she talks about, is just sort of, she wears a lot of pink. So, I mean, you can see here, there was a pink glow in the background of the seminar that we went to. But she tells some great stories, and I was on her podcast. It would have been back then, possibly 2018, something like that. So I might pop a link in below. She does a podcast, Crazy Shit in Real Estate, excuse my French, but it's very funny. And there are all sorts of stories about real estate and what people do and what people haven't done, and things that, you wouldn't write home about, and things that would just make you laugh, and things that make you cry as well. So, but she basically says, you've just got to be yourself, and the power of consistency, and have an identity with presence, and just going ahead and doing things and being yourself. So, and she also talked about, with real estate, having a story with a particular house, and that's what I always liked about. So say, for example, she talked about the coolest oak tree ever today, and I want to climb it. These people loved it so much they built an entire multi-level deck around it. It becomes a story about the tree, and these homeowners loved so much that they preserved it. So anybody wants a good read, Outrageous Authenticity, I'll have another read of that next week. And another one that I picked up too is Wild Courage, Go Out and Get What You Want. I think that's going to be a good book, so I'm not too sure where that one will go. But I think that's about all for this week. What else has everybody else been doing? Anything exciting? Much going on for people? Yeah, I think for me, I also read another book, which I read a couple of decades ago as well, The Alchemist. That's a classic about, basically it's this farmer, and he had a flock of sheep, and he travelled around the world looking for something in particular and seeking advice from other people. And it's all about listening to your heart, and above all, listening to your dreams. And I guess I go back to that subconscious again of a nighttime. It doesn't matter what what moon cycle it is for me. I like to do that meditation of a nighttime, or think about things as you're going to bed, about the day ahead or the great day that you've had, or maybe not the so great day, and things that, you know, we could have done a little bit differently or a little bit better, or maybe tweaked it a little bit to make it the way in which you want it to be. So that's a really good book if anybody's looking for an easy read. I read it in a day, so it's something that, yeah, literally a couple of hours and you'll pop that one out. But yeah, so love to hear from you what you're up to. If you want to join me on the 75 hard, 75 hard, I'm looking at losing 10 kilos this time. Probably a little bit slower on the second round, but I think I lost 28 kilos, 28.5 kilos the first round. And I'll thank you, Ruby. I appreciate you saying that. And yeah, 10 pages of book a day, reading, follow a diet, any diet, doesn't matter what it is, but no cheap meals, no alcohol. That's easy for me because I don't drink. 2 exercise sessions a day. So my exercise sessions, they're meant to be 45 minutes. Mine will be 45 minutes, but they'll be relatively easy in comparison to sort of some of the hardcore exercises that people do. I do 45 minutes on a bike, or I go to the gym, or go for a walk with the dogs, that sort of thing. Then the second exercise of the day will be like a stretching exercise or some sort of yoga, or that sort of more easier to digest than 2 hardcore activities. Usually outdoor activities is what you're meant to do. I don't always do outdoor activities, so I cheat a little bit there, but it seems to work for me. So if you want to jump on the journey with me, pop in the comments below 75 hard and I will send you details of that. We can keep one another accountable, and that's why I do it online, because sometimes we are better at accountability for others than we are for ourselves. So I know that if I put it out there, I'm not going to let you down. I might let myself down with the feed, but I got to turn that around. So that's why this helps me to put it out there and say, okay, I'm going to commit to 75 hard, which is 75 days of this together. 10 kilos is what I'm going for. And yeah, we'll see where we go together. But I hope you have a wonderful week ahead. I hope you get to spend some time with family or friends, or lunch with your mum and dad, as I was lucky enough to see today. And I've got a good weekend coming up. I've got a couple of open homes, and the puppy dogs, we might go for a little walk together, go for a walk by the river. The markets have moved. They're doing some work in the mall at the moment. So that has moved from the mall down to the side of the river, which wasn't too bad actually. But don't forget the businesses in the mall, because we love having the support of people like yourselves. They're still all open. It's just that you can't really walk in the middle of it as they're doing the renovations. Also, there's some renovations down by the river as well, opposite the boathouse. They're still doing the work on the bank there. So that's why you see a lot of the scaffolding cages up, and you still see a lot of earthwork going on there. So hopefully that'll be done soon and completed. And you get to set your intentions tonight with the portal. I'm not too sure what portal you're going to be working on tonight, but certainly work towards doing something that is worthwhile for you and where you want it to be. And yeah, I think, yeah, whatever that looks like. So whether you join me on the 75 hard, or whether you are just going to have a meditation tonight, or write your ritual down, or do whatever it is that you want to do, I think you'll have a great week ahead. I'm looking forward to a great week ahead. They talk about saying it as though you've already got it. So I'm feeling the 10 kilos lighter that I've already achieved with the 75 hard. I'll meditate on that tonight as I go to bed. I'll meditate on the week ahead with the team. We've got some exciting stuff coming together with the strata. I sort of became the accidental strata manager, because we're the last people standing. I don't think there's anybody else in the Hawkesbury that does strata anymore. And we keep being referred a lot of work with the strata, which we're really enjoying. We're growing the team as well with the strata, and I'm enjoying that. So if anybody has any questions in regards to your strata property or your residential property, whether it's rental or sale, we're happy to help. Sales are still going on. rentals are still going on regardless of whether the election, it was probably a little bit quieter before the election, but I think from now on we've got some clear sailing, and everyone wants to be sold before the winter comes along. But time to hibernate? I don't think so. I think Hawkesbury's going to shine, and the moon's certainly been shining brightly out here over the last, well, 2 weeks ago it was, and I'm looking forward to seeing the meteorite shower in the morning, and hopefully you'll be able to see some of the meteorites that come out of the sky as well, and get to focus on what you want to achieve and where you want to be in your life, and together we can achieve so much. And I love hearing about your stories and your successes as well. So with that being said, have a wonderful week ahead. Take care of yourself and each other, and look forward to seeing you next week. Bye for now.